I started learning Bharatanatyam, it was still at the stage of evolving out of a very long tradition of dance, which was practiced by the temple dancers of South India. So they were totally devoted and they were great artists who were responsible for keeping the art forms alive with the help of their teachers who also belonged to the same families, so that it was a sort of a family learning for most of the artists. The women especially went and danced in the temples, and the men taught them. They never danced in the temple where the women were dancing. So when women's dancing was more of a offering. The dance was one of the offerings, like you offer water, you offer flowers, you offer sandal paste, and like that. Dance was also one of the what we call the upacharas. Upacharas are the one that you give to the gods. So dance was part of that. So that from that time, from the mid 30s, when my mentor and guru Srimati Rukmini Devi saw this dance and wanted to make it more available for every art-loving person to watch and understand, because there was a sort of a stigma that the women who were practicing this art form received. So it had to come out of that. So she started Kalakshetra in the year 1936, and I, not as early as 36, I was born only in 35. So when I was 10 years old, I came down to Kalakshetra, and that was the time that actually the dance, she had wanted the public to come and watch this beautiful art form, and she had to take certain steps. I wouldn't call them, she never said she was going to improving the dance or she was changing the style, or she wanted it to be more acceptable to the cognoscenti, to the common people, the people in the urban people who would watch these art forms. Like music had established itself, she wanted the dance also to be recognized by the people as an art form and not as an entertainment, which it was almost going into. So this was the time, and so from that time, that was from 1945. Although I learnt music earlier, I came to Kalakshetra to be part of this growing up of the institution itself. So the presentation, there were no opportunities for dancers to be performing here, there, everywhere. It had to be mainly only a very few dancers who would dance in the public, but an institutionalized way of making dance a part of one's growth as an artist. I think Kalakshetra was there, and I was very fortunate to be part of that turning point from the mid-40s. So, but when I grew up, gradually more and more people started learning the art form because they felt it was something beautiful which was not watched by everybody. So when that started, the institution grew, and there were many students from all over the country, the students from abroad, and they also came and joined this institution, and we are all part of the growth of the institution. Now the institution is it's so many years, from 36 to now 16, that's 80 years of Kalakshetra. So I can't say that it has just remained the same. No art form can remain the same. It has to go with the times. When you consider the time changes, the type of music changed, the type of interest changed, type of life changed. They had not the leisurely time to be only involved in music or dance, but they also needed to make a living. So it was not a proposition to be a full-time musician or a full-time dancer, because the great masters who lived, they lived a very, very, very humble life with no luxuries to them. Then as time grows, people want to be an artist and also be part of the milieu of the people. Any art form, be it music, be it dance, or be it the plastic arts, sculpture, all these art forms grow only with the growth of the artist as he visualizes it. It is not just what somebody says, and then you have a period when you learn the alphabets and you try to do permutation combinations of the alphabets and make words out of it, make sentences out of it, and then finally you are able to understand the inner meaning of a language gradually. Similarly, as you practice your dance, I think it makes you look into the dance not as an exercise or something to keep fit, keep your body fit, but there is this interaction that's trying to be built up between the soul and the Supreme. What do you understand by the Supreme? It's not just the different types of gods that are mentioned in our mythology. They are Krishna, or Vishnu, or Shiva, or Parvati, or the deities Meenakshi, or many other forms. But it is not just knowing about their form or anything, but the whole idea of how in the religion, in the Hindu religion, it has specific what do I say? A specific role to play in the form of these gods and goddesses. They were not just somebody to worship with, but the specific role that each one of the gods and goddesses were given. I think it was so much part of a lifelong learning process for the human being. So when I am addressing Krishna or Shiva, outwardly, there are certain forms of idols that are imagined by the artist, or certain explanations to why the three gods, main gods, one for creation, one for protection, and one for destruction, was all done. This is all a philosophy of life itself. But if it came through the existence of these different forms, then there is more of a closer way of understanding the philosophy. So these gods and goddesses which form a part of our mythology, they were just only a pathway to lead to a higher goal. So personally for me, I worship every god. I worship every god of the Hindu pantheon, or Christianity, or Buddhistic, or all the religions. I say I'm a Hindu, I will do this. I am, as a Hindu, as a Brahmin. I personally, my parents asked me to wear a thread, the sacred thread, which from the time it was put on me, I still hold on. But it doesn't mean that without thinking, I have to wear it, so I wear it. No, it has become part of my, one moment if my thread is off my body, then I feel something. I said, something has happened to me today. Where? Then I suddenly find while I was sleeping, my thread had fallen down, so I felt the absence of that feeling in me. So like that, then what the gods you pray to, they come to help you. Or no, don't worry, it's not something very serious. It's just an accident. It's like an accident. So continuously, when I pray, in my own way. It's not I totally follow the ways that have been prescribed in the text. I have my own way of prayer. For me, the biggest prayer is my art form. When I dance or when I sing, there's nothing more that I really long for. I may not be a great scholar to be speaking in a way that I'm preaching to people. No, I'm not a preacher. I love my art, and I want the art form to be presented in a very beautiful way. And for that we need what is the vehicle that I have. For that is my body. My body means it's my entire body, whether it's my torso or it's my eyes, whether it's my fingers. If I hold a mudra like this, we were taught to hold a mudra like this, a hand gesture. So gradually, I know if I hold a mudra like this, it looks like a parrot. See, this is the wing of the parrot, this is the mouth of the parrot. But if it just doesn't mean only a parrot to me, it means so much more. The parrot which was fondled by the goddess Meenakshi. It could be anybody, it could be any woman, any girl who holds it, loves the parrot, then feed it, or when it flies off, hold it, make the parrot part of your life. So this is the type of relationship that I try to get between me and what I'm watching in the world. So nothing is a compulsion. Now one might say, no, I want the parrot to be only like that. A parrot has a life, so it looks like that. No, it has its own way of expressing its joy or anger with me. Just because the parrot or any other bird doesn't speak to me, it makes me understand. It's like having a pet at home. You speak to the pet and it reacts. How? Because the closeness and to the entire way of surrendering yourself to the art form gives you all these variations. See, we as students of dance, especially in the field of Bharatanatyam, are taught all the basic movements of each part of the body, which have been codified into very, very well-known texts, starting from the time of the supposed Bharata. We don't even know whether there was a man, it was one man, it were 100 people put together, all their minds together, but they codified it, made a huge lexicon of all the possible parts of the body. So it's not just the eye or the face. If I say the face has its eyebrows, it has a temple, it has the nose. Suppose when I use my eyebrows like that, or why? When I say my temple brings in some sort of lines on my forehead, then if I want to use my nose, I say, what's happening? What's being made at home today? There's something very special. Or if it is something which is not palatable, then you make it. What's not the same nose which opens out doesn't want to have this bad smell. So like this, every part of the body, the lips, how you bite it with your teeth, or even as a child, when you see a child in the cradle, if you watch the child sleeping, an artist has to see all this and learn. It would say, a moment like that. So what we'll say, oh yeah, my mother would probably come and say, oh yeah, the God is giving him a vision. So that's why he's reacting to that. So it's some things like that. Every part of the body has many ways of expressing. It's not only the face. Suppose it is, for a dancer, we always say we need to have what we call as the equipoised position of the torso and the body, which we call as Saushtava. Saushtava is not just loosening yourself lazily, but on your marks all the time. You're on your marks like a sprinter who's ready to take off to win a 100-meter race in the Olympics. So he just does that. So that action of always being ready is something very important to me as far as the body language is concerned. So when I'm saying this, if I sit like this, and suppose I want to do alaripu, ta, te, yum, ta, tam, kitataka, ta, te, yum, ta, tam, kitataka. When I do that, I'm just putting my hands, my teacher has said, lift your elbow a little, and then put the palm downwards and lift your fingers a little up, and then lift your torso and then dance, and then use your eyes judiciously, being like this and coming to that position is a long learning process. Again, working with my eyes. Ta, te. I want to be very pleasant. I smile. I show my teeth. Ta, te, yum, ta, tam. Even then I'm not satisfied. Then I said, why? What is it I'm missing? When I do that, first thing I do, I concentrate myself. I point. The point is very important. Anything that right in front of me is my focus. My focus, I have to control my focus and not make it the eyelids or eyelashes or anything move. No. I have practiced now during the long years that I must use my eyes, keeping it open. Maybe it might be big, minimum, even less. So I should know the difference between each one of these positions in which the eyelids open or close. So when I do that, I'm smiling from within, which I feel comes out of my mouth, this part of my mouth. If I sit like this, I'm opening mine. But this has not come from inside. When I want to show it, then ta, te, 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 ta. There's nothing here except that it's beautiful. Ta, te, ta, te, ta, te, ta, te, ta, ta, te, ta, ta. According to the rhythm, you can use your eyes. When you're doing nritta, or what we call it a pure dance, which is not very, which is considered not too much of abhinaya. But for me, nritta is also abhinaya. I've come to the conclusion nritta is also abhinaya because every part of the body has to play. Suppose, so I always insist on the torso when I want. This is just bending from the waist. But when I want to look there, this is a woman. This is my straight torso, and then without moving any other part, I do this. And similarly, if I do that, this is more masculine, this is more feminine. Suppose I make this feminine, then I make this masculine. So it's just, so instead of bending too much, even when I say this. So most important part of the body which works in abhinaya for me is my torso. The other, and the mudras. And the mudras also they should never be stiff because I say, so you hold it like that. No, this is okay. But then I tell my students that keep your wrist firm, but keep your fingers very soft. If you do that, or if you do, because if I give all the importance to my wrist. So where to give, we call it soft and firm. Stiffness there's no place for stiffness of any movement in dance. It is either soft or soft and firm. So only these two ways. So the eyes, again going back to the eyes. Suppose I want to express something. I didn't use my eyebrow or my eyelid to ask some child standing there, right there, to come. I just say, come. No? You won't come? You're scared? No. You're a sweet kid. Come on, I won't do anything to you. You want this lollipop? Come. Yes? Yes, you want it? No, why are you feeling shy? You're scared of your mom? No, she won't tell me anything. Will you? No, she says no. So everything I can speak, even suppose I don't say this and repeat the same thing in my action. Suppose I say, what happened? You've grown up into such a nice boy. In minutes, in seconds. There are two guys fighting with each other. He says, why did you take my pencil from my box? Why did you take it? Oh, I didn't take it. Then who took it? That friend of mine who's eating a lollipop has taken it. He or he? He or he? So any movement of the eye I can do without, not that anybody can do. And what I'm trying to say is, in then do. Why? Vachiti. I only can't use only my eyes. I have to use my body also. Why? Why are you here? Do I know that? Know the reason? Oh, my dear friend, this is not the house that you're looking for. The house is there, not here. You understand? Better go away. Anything you can just say. So then changing characters, you mentioned about staying change. So I'm Krishna and Sudama, the two mythical characters in the Bhagavata. So we're Krishna and Sudama, they were great friends as young children. They went to the same institution where the Guru taught them both, and they were playing together. And as they grow up, they finish their studies, they go out. One goes to the right, one goes to the left. So they've not seen each other. Krishna was a big king with a big palace, and he was a great man. But this poor Brahmin boy had nothing to eat. He had his family, he had a number of children, he couldn't feed them. And then almost in poverty, the wife tells him to go. Why don't you talk about your friend Krishna all the time? Why don't you go and ask him to help you a little in this condition? He says, no, how can I go? So this, I'll just show this to say, hi Krishna, hi Sudama, You going home? Don't forget me. Huh? Will you forget me? No. I will not forget you forever. This is Krishna. But I know when you go, you won't remember me. See, I'm using these two positions and with a little tilt of my... And then that's Sudama's wife. Why don't you go to him and ask him for some help? Oh, no. How can I do that? How can I do it? He's so great. He's so great. Only showing with your hand, he's very great, I'm very small. That is very, it's not poetic. He's great. He's the king of the country. And I am a poor Brahmin. Then she says, no, that's not friendship. You don't know him probably. He might help you. Why don't you go? So, when you change, it doesn't need that you have to take a turn and only you become a different... your body, in fractions of seconds, should be able to change the dialogue. Because this works specially for a solo dancer. If it's a group work, Krishna is a different character, Sushila is a different character, and Sudama is a different character. When the characters are all different, when the same person has to do, so it doesn't mean just, and I don't say it is wrong, but I somehow feel it has become also almost compulsory that a turn means that the character has changed. No. I feel you can change the character even without taking a turn that way, just by using your body language. I don't use just with my eyes I'll do. First thing, even if I do with my eyes, I can't sit like this because I have to prepare myself. That's the preparation. With the preparation, then I keep my samadrishti. It's just in front. Then we have all these other things. Now anyone who has learned the Alaripu is also taught that your hands have to go to the same place where your eyes have to go to where the hands go. Suppose it is 1 and 2 and 4. So I can do it and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only the eye moves. But suppose when it goes with the arms, you can see, but without the arms, I show it that how the eye movement is so important that it has a specific job to do. So it's that. I'm avoiding even a smile on my face. It's only the eye. And I feel that the eye itself should be able to convey it without even a smile on your face. It's a very painful process for the eye, but when you do it, ta, te, yum, tat, tam, kitata, tita, te, tate, tam, the same thing. It's the same thing, but you add all those embellishments. For me, eye becomes very important there. So whether it is Abhinaya, when I say, how is it, how are you? No, not well? Yeah. So tomorrow you go to the doctor, won't you? Yes. I know you look very tired. What happened? Did you sleep well? I don't have to say, didn't you sleep well? Did you say, didn't you sleep well? Or didn't you sleep well? What's wrong? Why? So the eye is, for me, can do wonders. So it's not always that we need to follow the mudra. Why? Come here. It is very essential when we learn it in the beginning, but it takes a long time to get in. The same thing, why? Come here. Okay? Then you say, why? Come here. I didn't look at my hands at all. I didn't look at my fingers at all. So the body grows, the dance grows with the person to mainly depend on the eye, and the hastas become just embellishments. Music, whether it is Indian, Carnatic, or North Indian, or music of the West, we all depend on certain notes which have been created. It is said mythologically all the sounds and things came from the Damru of Shiva and all that. That's mythology. But we all know that the notes are very important, and how you put the notes into a line and make it a tuneful, continued musical piece, and then how you complicate in it, how you speed up, how you drag the notes, speed up the notes, and all those things are part of the growth of a musical form. In India, we mainly have, because the classical dancers also follow the classical music of India, so we have the North Indian and the South Indian. The notes or the swaras are the same, but how you connect the swara one to another, one major importance which I feel is the North Indian music is more a gliding notes, gliding swaras from one to the other. But in the Carnatic music, what we have, what is called kampana or shaking, oscillating. Every note gets oscillated when it is sung. Pure notes, we accept that sa and pa are pure notes, whether it's Hindustani music or Carnatic music. So, but when the other notes, when you sing, you can have oscillations. Oscillations is sa, single note. You can sa, you can never say that. Sa, re, 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 ga. In Hindustani music, ne re ga, ne re ga. In this Carnatic music, that middle note will carry a little bit of the lower note and also carry a bit of the upper note. No, I mean in Hindustan, in Carnatic music. But when you do sa re ga re ga re za ni re za ni re. You don't get this oscillation much in the North Indian music. So the ragas are also, some ragas which of the north have been taken into the south, like Behad or common ragas, and even Khamaj. So, but then there are some ragas like Hamsadvani, Charukesi, which are all South Indian ragas, which have been taken up by the North Indian great people like Ravi Shankar, and have used many South Indian ragas. But the whole tinge of the music changes when you play it or sing it in the North Indian style of a southern piece, or vice versa. So that is so when you compose something, I personally feel if the lyrics are in Hindi or any of the languages, any of the music which is set to a language of the north, it generally follows the North Indian. And in the south, it is not the same. It is the language is Telugu, Tamil, and a language like Sanskrit, for example, which is common both in the north as well as in the south. So when they sing it with the North Indian touch, then it suits Sanskrit all right, but it won't suit Tamil or re ga re sa re ga re ga re sa. It's a little more slowly elaborated. There's no place for the gam. Sa, they have in the Drupad system, they have that gamakas are there, but probably it is not so much in vogue because Drupad music itself is difficult probably, so that's why many people have given it up or whatever it is. But there was a time when both the musics used this, but now it's very, you can clearly get sort of demarcated. So when the ragas are used, and the words or syllables also, syllables or the words that we sing also makes the difference. Suppose the same ye ra ra ra, you heard this Javali. So ye ra 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 chaite rai marubari ke talagale ra. This is in Carnatic. Ye ra 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 chaite rai marubari ki talagale ra. The whole tinge changes. So it is nice to keep the systems separately. This is that, so that it is the parallel growth. But now there is a lot of give and take. But the notes can be taken, but pronunciation also needs to be taken. If a person learning Hindustani music, I was listening to an American singing it. There are very few Americans who've taken vocal, like so. But they have had to. But however well they sing, but the basic upbringing of listening to music, it takes a long time. Like Higgins, he was really a fascinating American who unfortunately passed away very early, who sang Carnatic music so well. So there are differences there. It's nice to keep the southern music separate from the northern music. But if you want to use sometimes it fits in, sometimes it doesn't fit. For example, we had the Marathi compositions in the Tanjore court when the Marathas ruled there. The Marathi compositions were all the lyrics were all lyrics were all in Marathi, and the music was Carnatic music. So when I remember a time when I was listening to a dance performance, watching it, it was one of the Nirupanas of the Tanjore Maratha kings. The music was sounding very Carnatic, and the words, the person sitting next to me who understood Marathi said, "What is this language? I don't understand." Then I had to tell him, "It is your language. It is Marathi being sung, but because it is sung in a Carnatic form, that's why probably at that point of time in history, the Marathas knew Marathi and knew Carnatic music and appreciate a combination of that. But now probably the ears are different. So they don't get to listen to, but people are doing research and then bringing out the Marathi compositions and try to sing them a little more in the Hindustani style and bring it. So all this is all of it. There's always a permanent growth for any art form. It's never stagnant. So I know in my own lifetime I can say how much of it has changed, how much of it has changed. So how it was all very less of, it was not always a more use of mudra-oriented Bharatanatyam. Now there is a lot of musically or eyes or facial expressions alone, and the importance to the mudras are not given much. But everything is essential. You have to learn the mudras, you have to know, but then also you should know how the same mudra can be very delicate, and the same mudra is used for why, with an anger, but why? When you just add that but, it becomes, but why? Why? But why? So when you say that, the expression of the hands also change. So but it is an amalgamation. The whole Indian dance and music, I think they are just compartments, but they do come together and sometimes go out. So we don't know what is in store for the future. Kuluku in Telugu and Tamil means to shake. You also put marbles inside a box and then do that. Or when you take a bamboo and put some seeds into it, cover it, turn it like that, and then it gives you the sound of a rain or something like that. So this kuluku is something very, actually it is more an onomatopoeical word. When I say when you rattle, when you take a hand, you make the sound of the seeds inside or whatever is put inside. So that shaking part could be in many ways. Suppose I say, Yen teti kuluke. And I say, kuluke. Just one turn. Kuluke, kuluke. Only the face. Then, kuluke. With the shoulder. Kuluke. Also using the torso. So when you kuluke, what pride you have in making me cry or making me unhappy, you enjoy. You enjoy, how do you enjoy? With bodily enjoyment in the sense how you shake your body. The shaking of the body is something very, it has to be done very subtly. Suppose I did yen 30 kuluke, not abruptly like that. Yen 30 yen 30 kuluke. With slight movements of the chin, the cheek, the eyes, everything comes together. Then you do that. Kuluke, kuluke. And then she's talking to the friend. She's not just enjoying it, but she tells her, look at the way that he's behaving. Kuluke. Just because he has another girl with him, he's just jumping around without shame. So that's the word kuluke. When you do pure dance, you say these syllables. The syllables are on what we call as in mnemonics. Mnemonics. So when you say it, along with the character or along with the adabu, you tat jam. When there is a pause, you have to leave the pause. Ta jam. If you do that, there is no respite. Ta jam. Ta jam. Taka jam. Taka jam. Takata jam. Takata nam. So you soften it according to the adabu that you do. Takata jam. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. The Ramachandra I did takadimi, takajanu, takadimi, 4 fast one. When I give a pause, then it will be tajam, takajam, tajam, ta di. Kadakadam, tajam, takajam, takajam, ta di. Tajam, takajam, takatajam, ta di. What you do is you have to give a little language to it. Give it a little extra beauty to the ears. It's not very rough and rush all the time. Some people do it, but then some people also sing song manner. Takajam takanam takarum takadijam tari jakatarita jakatari. That is also a way of saying it. But personally, I would prefer to bring out a sort of a meaning into every adabu. Tan ditan ditakatam, tan ditakatam, tatan ditakatan, ditan ditakatam, tan ditakatom, tatan ditakatan, ditan ditakatan, dita, takatan, dita, ta, di, kirtakatarikitam, ta. See, I'm giving the movement some sort of a language. Although it is onomatopoeical, it has no meaning, but you can give meaning to it because some of the syllables also mean something. Tadita. Tadita, for example, means the lightning. So when I use tat tadita taka tadita tat tadita taka tadita, it is actually the sound of the. I'm using it as a sound of the lightning. But otherwise, tat tadita taka tadita taka tadita digi tadita, it could come, but it won't convey the meaning as much as. As much as it would be along as part of the movement of the lightning. The lightning comes tat tadita, tak tadita, tat tadita, tak. So tat tadita, tak, where I give my intonations, if I change the intonation, the meaning will get spoiled. So this is one experiment which I have done, I have tried to use. Somebody might accept it, somebody may not, but that's it's not compulsion. Yeah.